So, welcome to lesson number 5. This is reading the ECU. So, this is where we're getting to the meat and bones of things, where it gets good. Okay, so let's say you've done all your checks, you know what the customer wants, you've ID'd the ECU, and the car's battery is healthy, and now it's time to get to the meat and bones of it all. Once the ID is done, it'll ask you to save the file to a location, create a new folder in the naming convention as follows. So 2009 VW Golf Mark 6 to the 2-liter TDI, 150 bhp or 105 bhp, right? More descriptions, more descriptors, the better. More descripting names, the better. And that means that's so that we can later on find it very easily, and we won't have any problems finding it again later on down the line. So now you're going to read the ECU's file. However, there are two types of reading. Okay, on all VW or VAG, so that's Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, Porsche. I think that's all. I probably missed a few. But on most of those, you'll be doing something called a virtual read. Virtual read is these ECUs have a protection software where it doesn't actually let you read the ECU at all, but it lets you ID the ECU, so that it tells you what kind of software is on it, the version, and the hardware number. And from there, we can go online and we can request that exact file, and then we can download it onto our laptops, and then we can overwrite the file that's currently on the ECU. So VAG ECUs, except for older ones, they actually let you read from the ECU, but most of them won't let you read from the ECU at all. It'll just let you do an ID. You send the ID on to me, and we then request the original file for that ECU, and that's just basically, it's the exact same file that's on the ECU, but we need to request it online. So that's a virtual read, or VR is for short. And the other kind of reading is a direct read, and that's every other car, like actually BMW are the same for virtual reading. Pretty much all German made cars are virtual read, but direct reading is the cars like Honda, Nissan, Toyota, what else, a few BMWs actually are direct read. And direct read, there's a benefit to that. Example, if they already have a remap on their car, a direct read will actually download their remap, so then you actually have their remap then on your laptop saved. Whereas a virtual read, if they have a map on their car, we have to add on what they already had, if you get me. So I'll explain that in more detail, but basically with a direct read, you're getting exactly what they have on their car, and with a virtual read, you're just getting the original file that their car used to have or currently has, if their car isn't modified. We already talked about that. So yeah, the only fallback with a virtual read is that if the car has an EGO or a DPF delete or a map on already, it will be lost if we overwrite with the virtual read. So we must do a version on our own laptop or on our own that they want from us on top of what they already had. Where direct reading actually gets what they have. So it's the same thing with the ID. When you're done reading the file, it'll ask a location to save it to. You'll save it to the same location where you saved the ID. So the ID is in the same file or in the same folder. The read, and whenever you are done reading, you're going to call it ORI, like ORI, read.bin, so .bin. So yeah, ORI read.bin, the folder will be sent to, so you'll send me on the folder, the full folder, and then from there I'll send you back that folder with a new file called like tuning whatever of that original read, and that will be the tuned file.